Hello and welcome to one of the classes organized by Eduquest. And we are here to study about SAT English. Yes, guys, I'm going to be teaching you about SAT English. And my name is Miss Samia Jamal, and I'm one of the faculties for English language with Eduquest. Today we are going to be discussing about one of the subheadings of the primary heading. Yes, as we know, we are going to discuss, like in SAT exam, you have only two sections. One is English and the other is mathematics. So for the English thing, there are different genres. One happens to be textual evidence, the other is analyzing arguments, which we're going to do just now. The other section is general ideas, the others are like punctuations and many more. So one of the subheadings of the main heading English is analyzing arguments. Let's focus on the topic basically. So I'll discuss the other things later on. What is analyzing arguments? So many of you must be thinking that arguments is when you debate, when you argue. So there's another way of looking at the same topic, and that is yes, argument is when two people are basically talking. There are two or more than two people. But argument happens when somebody is in favor of the same topic and the other is against the same topic. Now, on the very same line, basically, if I say, if I use another word for argument, I say discussion. So for a person like me, I mean, your and my thoughts can differ. And for some of you, you may think that argument is the right word and is an okay word, but I believe argument is a negative word. Whereas discussion happens to be a positive word. So what do you analyze from the discussion or the argument, whatever is being done? So I'd like to start on with an example. Many of us might be thinking that making Mars a colony is a ridiculous thing. It is not easy for humans on planet Earth to make Mars a colony. But some believe that yes, it is possible. Yes, we can go and survive on Mars. It is not an impossible thing because Mars also is almost like a part of the Goldilocks zone of the solar system. So for the Goldilocks zone, you guys will have to go and Google basically. So it is not something which is 100% impossible. Yes, we can go and survive. But to go and survive on the planet Mars, it is best if we decide and spend some time on the land of Antarctica because the feeling and the emotion is going to be the same. No humans on Mars, and there will be hardly any humans, kind of surviving or having fun in Antarctica as well. I don't think so. That's just something which I believe. Like on the very same line, many of our scientists have been thinking of replacing the fuel which is being used in cars or probably automobiles. And yes, we have like battery run cars, electric cars. We have them on the roads, but many of the scientists are kind of focusing on using hydrogen fuel for running the four wheelers as well. So again, hydrogen fuel is used in rockets. It is already made. Scientists and the people, all the humans have already been using it, but it's just the way you start to use a particular source which has been created for a particular purpose. But there are different topics basically. So moving ahead on the same line, if you focus on these two, kind of rectangles, one happens to be blue, the other is pink. No, guys, I'm not trying to create any sort of gender divide. It's just an example. It is like two perspectives on the same topic. I say we can go and survive on Mars. And the other person is saying that please go and survive on Mars, but try and spend some time in Antarctica. A practical thing to do. So this is how you basically analyze what is being given in a particular passage, following the number of options you have to choose from as the right answer. I mean, you have to choose a correct option for what is the right answer. So basically, I'll help you understand how do you analyze a particular argument. I'll be teaching you about elimination methodology also in my coming sessions. But as of now, let's just focus on analyzing arguments. You analyze by emotion basically. There are argument, there are argue, you argue by emotion at times, right? So there are certain things which make you feel happy. I believe birthdays should be celebrated. And it's a very happy thing for me. Birthdays are fun days. You go out and spend some time with your friends and family. But others think differently. They believe that, national holidays should be celebrated the most instead of celebrating birthdays. So it's typically an emotional thing. It's how you believe or how you think a particular thing should be. What is it that makes you feel happy? Like for example, teaching is something which I just love doing. It is something which I enjoy. I'm happy when I'm teaching. So it is an emotion which I feel. And this is exactly the kind of work which I'm doing right now. I'm interacting with like one of these special sections or the special genres of this world. The students who are really keen on making a career, a good career in the coming course of time, the ones who are really serious about their future. So probably I feel happy, I'm happy addressing you all, and it is actually making me feel or the happiest rather. Now, the other thing is argument. I mean, the emotion can be excitement, can be of excitement also. How do you evaluate that, the excitement factor? When India won the World Cup, honestly, I hardly cared because I'm not into sports. I'm happy that we won the World Cup. Yes, I'm very happy. I'm happy as an Indian that we made a mark. But I mean, the sport, as in the cricket, doesn't excite me much. So, your views and my views. Do we understand the difference of opinion? It is as simple as that, guys. One man's art is another man's pawn. So it's just the way we perceive things to be as. So I'm not into sports. Now, argument by surprise. At times, there are certain factors which you come across and you feel a little, oh my God, what was that? Now, many scientists are keen on using cobalt instead of lithium in the batteries which are used for running the four-wheelers. It's a practical thing. Yes, you can replace lithium by cobalt, but where do you take the cobalt from? The best concentration of cobalt is currently in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the economy, as in the political stability, isn't there much. So they're not really focusing because it is a big battle to fight. So in extracting cobalt and settling the economy and things like that, it's a very lengthy procedure. So they have started to focus on hydrogen fuel, and this is what is in the news these days. So this is how it is. Like if you want cobalt, oh my God, why cobalt? Think of something else. So it is basically any argument which you evaluate or analyze on the basis of emotions. Now, argument by logic. I'd like to share one of my experiences. I was going through the web page created by the Government of India. The address is National Crimes Records Bureau. I was just surfing the internet and I came across this website. I had some paperwork to do. So I went into the section where they have represented the statistical data of the crimes committed in different states or the people of different states. So when you focus onto the statistics, you will evaluate with due respects to all my students and to all my listeners and viewers, excuse me, the maximum number of crimes which are committed are by the people of Madhya Pradesh. Excuse me, guys, really excuse me. It's just the bad weather. And I'm sorry, I just feel like recording today and I'm really enjoying this. So kindly bear with me. God bless you. So, if I analyze or argument by logic, this is how you argue. It is not me, guys. It is not me who's saying that the maximum number of crimes are committed by the people who belong to the state of Madhya Pradesh. It is not me who's saying this. It is the statistical data represented on a website which is run by the Government of India. So this is how I talk. So, on the very same lines, if you have to analyze an argument, that too by logic. Here is a pie chart. It is about some XYZ school in which the way students reach their school in the morning. Maximum number of students use car. Do you see this section? This section, and this is here the car. The maximum share is shared by number 9, which is maximum number of students use car to reach their school. Now, after 9, the maximum share has been taken by number 8, which means that these many students prefer to walk, which means after cars, there are students who reach their school by walking. Then, then comes the share of cycle. Yes, as you can see, the size of the pie. So, after car, then walking, students use cycle to reach their school. Then is, I guess, bus. Then is the taxi, and then is the train. So, a very less share of students basically uses train to reach their school. So this is how you argue or probably analyze a particular point and analyze a particular perspective, or you reach a conclusion with the help of logic. And here is the logic. Now, argument by analogy. There are two factors. You consider both the factors and then you derive a conclusion, and those conclusions are independent to an individual thoughts. As you can see over here, we all know about the special characteristic of carbon. Carbon never sheds electrons, carbon never gains electrons. The only thing that carbon does is it shares the electrons. Same goes for hydrogen. So the kind of bond which is created over here, you can easily evaluate that it is a covalent bond. Carbon and hydrogen are sharing their 1 electrons, so that they can complete the shell structure, which is KLMN. So in the, like, for example, in the first shell you have 2 electrons. In the second shell you have, I guess, like 8 electrons. 288 is what I remember. So to complete the shell, now in this particular shell, the two so in the first shell, I think the carbon has got 2 electrons, and the second shell, it needs to have 8, which is like completed over here, as you can see yourself. One red, one cross, one red, one cross, one red, one cross, one red, one cross. So in the L shell, carbon already has got 8 electrons. And in the K shell, hydrogen has 2 electrons, which is like just fine. It is analogy. Hydrogen wanted to gain one, carbon had to gain one in the outermost shell, and this is how they share the bond and they end up creating methane. So 1 molecule of carbon and 4 molecules of hydrogen, they complete the circuit or the share or the bond, and we have the most magical gas ever, that is methane. See, I told you about the fuel factor, right? You need to have methane. Now, argument by authority. Guys, I think most of you must be in school right now, if I'm right. Yes. So, just allow me to quote an example. There is an information which is given to you by your class teacher, and there is an information which is given to you by the principal of the school. There is an information which is given to you by the education minister, or probably the minister of the human resources. So, which is going to carry more weight? Obviously, it is the authority factor. So for the ones who believe there is no difference when the information is given to us by our class teacher or the information is given to us by the principal, it hardly makes any difference. So my regards and my respects to those people. But yes, we talk about authority. So if you refer to the class 9 chapter, I'm explaining it, guys. Chillax. So if you focus on the class 9 syllabus, I think one of the chapter deals with poverty in India. I'm talking about the CBSE board, no other board, CBSE board NCERT. So one of the chapters deals with poverty, and it clearly states that poverty levels declined in very many countries, but the rate at which it was expected to decline in Russia. That's why I have used Mr. Putin's image over here. In the way it should have had decreased in Russia, it has not decreased as much. So this is how it is. So if we have any statements given by Mr. Putin, it is going to carry but obviously more weight. I am not a Russian. I am an ordinary English faculty for SAT with Eduquest. I'm special that ways. But when it comes to an economy, when it comes to another country's economy, I do not have the authority to comment anything. I'm just quoting one of the information which is stated in the books of class 9. So this is what you call is argument by authority. And we carry opinions also. Similarly, if I talk about Dr. Manmohan Singh, guys, Dr. Manmohan Singh has done a lot of work for the development of India's economy. If you look into the history, you will be able to evaluate that in the year 1991, it was his proposal to make India an open economy because we were kind of a closed economy before that. That is when the point of or the concept of liberalization was introduced. So the man behind India reaching this far as in the terms of any development is Dr. Manmohan Singh and Mr. P. Chidambaram. Yes, they were the two people who were together who literally transformed India's economy from what it was to what it became after that. And with due respects to Ma'am Sushmita Sen and Ma'am Ashwarya Rai, they also helped because in 1991, liberalization got introduced because of honorable people, and these two beauty queens, they won the pageant and we ended up having a global image. So India was recognized on the world map. So, there's one word we should never forget, and that is gratitude. Being thankful. And I'm really thankful to Dr. Manmohan Singh for whatever he has done for the India's economy. Now, argument by statistics. Just the way I quoted the facts about National Crimes Records Bureau, the pie share, it is almost the same. But in the bar graph, you can have better comparative analysis. It is easier. I mean, pie share is always easier, but you cannot have so many parameters. So when it comes to statistics, right? So if you focus on this particular bar graph, as you can see, the maximum number of birthdays fall in the month of June. Then maximum number of birthdays are in the months of May and October. After June, May and October, the maximum number of birthdays are in September and in December. After that, maximum number of birthdays fall into the month of July. So this is how you evaluate, and the least number of birthdays are celebrated in the month of August. So this is how you basically argue, not really argue, but you evaluate a particular information that is purely based on statistical records. So this is how you read the graph. I'm sure since you're already studying, you're already a student, I'm sure you must have come across a graph like this. It is quite difficult for me to digest if you'll say that, ma'am, no, we haven't. I'm not going to take that for an answer. So please focus. It is not a difficult thing to do, guys. And honestly, it is an ordinary graph which is available over the internet. You may Google and you may find the exact graph also. Now, let me move ahead. Glittering generalities. At times it is perceived that anything which is advertised a lot, anything which is like glamorized at all, a lot, is supposed to be good. But do you really think so? You know, for a genre like yours, I don't think so that you guys are going to get carried away with whatever is being shown to you on television or in any source of media. I don't think so. It is not really easy to, fool you guys. I am quite sure about it and I'm not underestimating you folks. So now let's get into the fact. Glittering generalities. What is the text representing? In glowing terms and offering no evidence, the speaker or advertiser supports a candidate or a solution to social problems. Now, allow me to teach you a couple of things. Yes, I've written 1893 Sailor Pratham. Who was he? What does the year depict? I'm sure you can relate with the year, but who was he? He is basically the man who created the medicine for a stomach disease known as dyspepsia. Yes, guys, it was in this year when people were suffering from a disease which was known as dyspepsia, and this gentleman ended up creating a medicine. That medicine was supposed to be taken as a syrup with the help of a spoon. But people experimented. They had it with water, they had it with milk, they had it with other, combinations. I mean, they applied very many permutations and combinations. And eventually they evaluated that the best combination is that of the medicine and the soda. Now, for a person like me, I believe like all these carbonated drinks are full of carbon dioxide. That's why you have the fizz in there. So when human body is programmed to exhale carbon dioxide, why are we gulping it down? But that's just a silly logic which I have to give. On the very same line, What are those antacids? There is a medicine which is known as Digene, and which is very common in Indian market. So what does it do? What do antacids do? Antacids are basically, kind of fire extinguishers. When you have acidity, you consume one of these medicines and you get rid of acidity. Same goes for Eno, which is used to kill acidity. So, I mean, there are different permutations and combinations. It is up to us how do we evaluate and perceive things to be as. So, when it comes to Pepsi, so guys, I'm not trying to sell Pepsi. I've got nothing to do with Pepsi. I'm just against carbonated drinks. Because of the same logic, my body is programmed to exhale carbon dioxide, not gulping it down. So, what happens with Pepsi? It is basically the syrup which is meant to cure any issue which is related to digestion. It basically helps in digestion. And how come it increases energy? The plain simple logic is Pepsi, as in the black colored drink, is having caffeine. Caffeine, like many of you who have the habit of having coffee early in the morning, guys, you must have noted that it has got caffeine if you go and look into the ingredients thing. So you will realize. So this is how it increases energy also. Otherwise, how come a carbonated drink which is programmed to damage your body is doing good to your body? So every coin has got two sides to it. You look at it just the way you want to have a look at it, basically. It's your choice. All right, next. One is overstatement. Guys, I have the best example. I say it out loud that yes, I can give competition to Angelina Jolie or probably Ashwarya Rai. Now stop smiling, guys. I know it is an overstatement and my job is done. This is exactly what I wanted to teach you. What is an overstatement? What is an exaggeration? As you can see the beautiful face of this cute little girl who is saying, very impressive. Can't you see my excitement? Can you see any excitement on her face? Guys, I can't. I simply can't see any sort of excitement on this girl's face. So this is basically an overstatement. If the girl is saying, can you see the excitement on my face? I can see no excitement. It's a blank face, right? Rather, she seems to be a little upset. Oh, well, this is no overstatement. Now, understatement. Look at the trees. Look at this picture. Yes, it is a copied picture from internet. Yes, the source is given also. So, my respects to the source basically. Now, if I say hurricane is a little windy, do you call this a little windy? Is this a little windy? No, guys, it is not. It is an understatement. Yes, it is an understatement. If being an Indian, I say, I do not know how to speak in Hindi. I know how to speak in Hindi, guys. I can speak in Hindi. I can converse in Hindi. So I can read also Hindi. So it is an understatement. Hurricane is not a little windy. Hurricane is very dangerous. Now, moving on to the next slide. Here is an example. What argument below is free of errors in logic? Option number one. Homeschooled children graduate with undeveloped social skills. Getting an offer, getting an after-school job is a good thing to do in high school. Art and writing classes can be an outstanding creative outlet. Extracurricular activities will keep high school kids out of trouble. Which argument below is free of errors in logic? It is argument by logic. Very simple. Guys, just have a look at the options one again and I'll take you to the answer. The answer is option A. Yes. So I'll take you back to the options. Yes, homeschooled children graduate with undeveloped social skills. Now, there is a logic which I have to represent. Considering the kind of trend we have in the society today is of double income, nuclear families, parents being busy, and so many things. So you must have seen very tiny little kids starting to go to school very at a very early age. Kids who have just turned 2 or 2.5 have started going to preschools. So that's how it is. And trust me, believe you me, I'm not promoting these preschools. There's a hell lot of a difference between a student who has been brought up at home and the one who has been to a preschool. So there is a difference. That's why people send their wards to school. So it is a simple logic. Homeschool children graduate with undeveloped social skills. So here is a logic. And with this, I come to the end of today's session. This was analyzing arguments for SAT English from the company Eduquest, and we shall be delighted to have you on board. Guys, please enroll yourselves. Yes, there will be sessions by Samia Jamal, but there is mathematics also, and we have got wonderful faculties for maths as well. So, guys, please join us so that we can help you through multiple ways in which at least my seniors have been guiding me in, so that I can disseminate and we can actually share. You share your knowledge with us and we share ours. So together we form a very good team. So goodbye, take care, and see you until the next video, guys. Do share and subscribe. I will be very happy. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. So see you guys and bye for now.